Welcome to the High School Basketball Podcast. My name is Josh Morse. I'm here with Worcester North head coach Al Pettway. Welcome.
Correct. Thank you for having me.
What got you into coaching?
Originally born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Played at Warren Harding High School. Likes of John Bagley, played at BC. Wesley Matthews, played for the Lakers for a while. Charles Smith, who played for the Knicks. I ended up at Worcester State. It was college at the time, but it's now university. Played for a guy named Tommy Moore, who's one of the assistant coaches at UConn under Dan Hurley. My older cousin, who I call my brother, I saw him playing basketball one day at a local YMCA, and I thought the game was pretty interesting, and I liked, just the atmosphere and just the constant action of it. So I said, I'm going to try this. So I think I was in 7th grade at the time. I picked up the basketball, and I never looked back.
What are some of the things that you've taken from your playing days and implemented as a coach?
Relationships. Just building relationships with the kids and just showing them that you care about them and just having a passion for what you're doing. Just playing the game for so long and just, having, the coaches and mentors that I've had in my life and just taking some of their things and their position on how they deal with youth. And I took some of their stuff and I just, kind of some of my own stuff and just, I applied it. And I just think being genuine and showing kids, people that you care about them and just taking my passion, and I've just run with that.
You're more than just a basketball coach. Right? You're working with players' families. You're working in the community.
Absolutely. I grew up in a single-parent home, so I didn't really have a father figure in my life at the time. So a lot of the kids that I work in an urban community, so a lot of the youth that I deal with, a lot of them single-parent homes. There's some two-parent homes for the most part. They're mostly, single-parent homes. So I just try to pay it forward because I know what it feels like not to have a male figure, a role model in the home. So I play that role as a father figure to most of my kids. Even if they have two parents, I'm still an extension of, the dads that are in the house, and the parents really, appreciate that. So it takes a village is what I say. So the more positive people you have in your life, the better it is for you.
As that father figure, how does that father figure translate onto the basketball court?
I spend a lot of time with the kids. We do a lot of bonding, team bonding. We go out to eat. Every Friday after our games, we go out and we spend time with our guys, and we have dinner. And usually on Saturdays, we either go to a college basketball or a local high school game. We'll go watch games. So we spend a lot of time together. On the court, I tell them that when I'm coaching, that's my passion. So I'm pretty tough to play for on the court, but it's in a positive way, not a negative way, and they know that. So I think the key is to spending the time showing them that I do love them off the basketball court. So it's not just me being hard on them when I'm coaching them. So off the basketball court, I think that's been huge for me to earn that trust and that, you know what, he's hard on us, but he's hard on us in a positive way. And off the basketball court, he shows us that he loves us. If you don't spend time with them off the court and showing them that you do care about them and they don't see that other side to you, sometimes it becomes difficult to coach them because they don't see that while he does care about us. He does, he spends time with us. He tells us he loves us. So to me, it's just bigger than just coaching them. It's teaching them life lessons. So, and showing that I am, human, and, I do have the kid in me at times. So I think, for me, spending time with my guys, I think it's been really huge. And then, they understand when I'm getting on them on the basketball court that it's not personal.
You're building trust out of that sort of love relationship that you have with your players. What's the team dynamic that you're looking for? What kind of culture are you looking for from your program, or what do you have within your program?
We say family. On the back of our jerseys, we have on our home jersey it says family, and our away jersey say unity. So that family atmosphere, our kids are like really close to each other, and I think that's where spending a lot of time with them off the basketball court, where they get time to bond, to get to know each other. Like last year, we went to a tournament in Florida, and I think that was huge. That was the first time I've ever done something like that, and we got to spend a week together. So we went right after Christmas. I thought that was, really huge for us to build that bond, and they became very close. Most of them grew up playing together anyway. They just, went their own way after 8th grade, but then they found their way back to each other. So I just think that creating that bond with, spending time with each other on, a basketball trip like that was huge. So we're going to go back this year. Instead of going after Christmas, we're going to go on December 19th. So we'll go back to the KSA tournament in Orlando, Florida. I think if anybody can provide that opportunity for their kids, I would encourage it, because a lot of my guys have never even been on a plane. So to give them that experience, I thought it made a huge difference in our season.
So that certainly requires community involvement with all of the families to rally support.
The entire community, I mean, from the mayor's office, from the DA's office, school committee members, just friends of mine and local businesses, just to give them that opportunity. Everyone was on board with that, and they actually was, we invite them to our games. I kept them updated on how the team was doing. Just doing a lot of community stuff as well. I think the communities, saw that, and they supported, what, our goal was. So, I thought that was huge.
This past year, Worcester North was the Division I state champions. How do you build a state championship program?
Hard work, a lot of hard work. I've been doing it for 20, 21 years. Worcester's the second biggest city in New England. So all the schools, there's so many high schools in the area, it makes it tough, because you have, say, 2 talented kids going here, 1 going there, 2 here. So all the talent is spread all over the city, which makes it pretty hard to compete with, like, Eastern Mass schools or, Western Mass schools. So I always said, if I work hard and if I'm able to get most of the talent in the city, we can compete with, the Eastern Mass schools. This year, the year before, we got a lot of talent in, but we fell a little short to BC High in the Sweet 16. And the BC High coach, I remember him saying that this will be next year. So that summer, a lot of kids, transferred in, including my nephew. So at that point, I felt I had all the talent in the city. And I said, wow, mission accomplished, all this talent in the city. Now let's see what we do. And then, we lost 2 games. We lost 2 games in Florida, and we won 1. And like I said, the competition was great. We come back to Massachusetts. We didn't lose a game in Mass. It was a historic year, not only for North, but for the city.
And many of those games were not close.
No, Newton North was probably they went to the state finals the previous year, so they played us pretty. I thought they were the toughest team we played. I said, if we can get by them, we'll be okay. But Lawrence High was pretty good too. We actually beat them in a tournament in Emmanuel College. So I thought those were the 2 toughest teams that we had faced. And knowing what was in the state, I thought we had a chance based on which side of the bracket we would end up on. We ended up on the strongest side of the bracket, but it ended up working in our favor, and we ended up making history and winning the first ever state title in Worcester.
How do you manage those personalities? How do you manage that talent pool? There's only 1 basketball, it's 5 guys on a court. You're winning by a lot. Certainly you have not won the championship yet at that point. How do you manage through all of that?
Great question. That was my biggest concern, and I think everyone else's concern. He's got all that talent. Everyone wants to be the star. He had kids that was like the star player on the team. And how do you manage to keep all those kids happy? And I felt that was going to be my biggest task. I just kept talking about team, not I. Scoring doesn't matter. It's about us. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're not going to play selfish. If you're selfish, I'm going to pull you out. You need to hold your teammates accountable. They bought into that. Not one kid on that team cared about scoring. Because I told them, I have 2 starting 5 teams here. I can go with any 5 of you guys. All you can start. It doesn't matter, guys. All you guys are going to play. We're going to do this together. You guys have an opportunity to make history. It's never been done. They just bought in. They just bought in. They want to win. And I take my hat off to them, because not one of those kids cared about scoring. They were an enjoyment to coach. I thought that was going to be really hard, but fortunately, I was able to keep every single one of them happy, and that's why they're state champs now.
Leadership takes many forms, and obviously you as the coach provide the overarching leadership, but you need that from various players, and sometimes that's vocal, sometimes that's just by action.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the key traits that you saw from some of the players this past year, that stand out to you?
I'm going to use a nephew, for example. He was a leader. He was a natural point guard. He would average like 30 points a game. With him leading the charge with, being unselfish with the basketball and making sure the right guys, got the basketball at the right time. I think it starts with your point guard, and then I think everybody else just follows suit behind him. Honestly, we have kids who like to score, and that's the best part of the game is they can, score the basketball. I think having a leader, and we had 2 other guards. We had, Amir Jenkins, who was another point guard, and we had a Ty Tabals, one of our kids who was, he didn't play after the season because he was ill. So we had multiple guards that could score. I just think with our guards, just knowing how to play in the game and playing for so long and knowing how to play the game, I think was, a difference in, us making history.
What are some of the ways that you motivate your team throughout the game?
I'm very passionate, so I'm loud, I'm energetic. I think people sometimes come to the game and they're just like, wow, this guy is like all over the place. I'm really energetic, very passionate about the game. So if you ever watch me on the sideline, you would probably think I was a madman. But the kids feed off of that. I'm not a quiet coach, so for the guys that I coach, I think they like energy, and I bring energy. It's when in practice I bring energy, and I think they feed off of that. I stress defense, and I thrive on that, and that's why we won this year. But I think energy.
With your assistant coaches, whether in practice or a game, what do you define as their role within your team?
I call it good cop, bad cop. There only can be one bad cop, and that's got to be me. My other assistants, I tell them when I'm on them, sometimes they're going to get down on themselves. I need my coaches to pick them up. And I hold my coaches accountable as well. When they're not doing that, I say, I need you to do this. He's down. I'm yelling at him. You 3 or you 4 can't yell at him as well, because now I've already yelled at him. He's made mistakes. Now you're yelling. Now the kid's completely in a funk, and he's not going to recover from that. So usually when I'm on the kids and they come out of the game, my assistants are right there to lift them right back up. My assistants are the good cops. And I have a cop actually on my bench. So, and I know sometimes it's tough for him, but he's been with me for a while. So he actually does a pretty good job with, boosting their confidence up.
What does your off season look like for your players? And one of the hallmarks of your program, which was tremendous, was that you all had really great kids. You had good structure. You had kids that were great in the classroom. So you had a lot of fundamentals to start with. What's that off season look like?
I preach student first, student athlete. And, for years I wasn't in the building. Now I'm in the building with my guys. And I think that's huge. And being the dean of students in the building, I have access to their grades. I can see everything that they're doing or not doing. So study halls. We host study halls on the off season. So they'll have study hall for about an hour after school. We have open gym. We play in a lot of fall leagues. We'll play in fall leagues. We play in summer leagues. We play in a lot of tournaments. I keep them together. So I just think the chemistry, like keeping them, even though season comes, I don't think it's a 3-month season for me. It's year round for me. I'm with these guys year round. Some of them do AAU in the fall. They're actually together doing that. So I think the more you keep them together, the more it makes my job a little bit easier when I get them, because the chemistry is important. If you don't have that, it could be a long year for you.
What's your farm team look like in terms of what you have coming up through your program?
Everyone wants to be there now. Everyone wants to be there. The incoming freshmen that came in this year are pretty good. Our future looks pretty bright. We have some pretty talented kids coming up. Every year I'm like, maybe it's time to pass the torch on, but with what's in the building now, I think we have a good stretch going here, 3-4 years. Winning is contagion. When you win a state title, everyone wants to come to the school, and everyone wants to go to Florida. Everyone wants to have the gear and the sneakers and all that stuff. So I think all of that stuff collectively as a group makes a difference. So future looks bright.
In order to have all that, you have to buy into that program, that philosophy, that culture, that system.
Yeah, we have kids that have been in the program, and unfortunately, if they're not willing to buy in as a junior or senior, there's younger guys that are right behind them. Unfortunately they don't make the cut. So, and like I said, I'm very structured and very tough at how I run the program. So the kids, for the most part, coming in, they know, because the current kids there will tell them, this is not that type of program. We have college coaches that come in and watch them during open gym. If you're good, you're good. They'll find you. I've been fortunate to keep most of my kids this year, which is, I think huge going into this upcoming year.
What are some of the conversations that you have with your players around the next step? Whether that's they reclass or they go on to college, or they just go on to life. And how do you address that, either individually or in a team structure?
Well, I tell them as a group, and I'll tell them individually. I tell them where I think their talent is at. I'm pretty honest with them, whether they agree or not. I'm pretty honest with them, and sometimes the truth hurts. I would tell them, and they know that I don't have a motive. I don't have a motive to be an NBA coach. I don't have a motive to go to college. I can do all those things. They know that. So I'm pretty honest with them about where I think they fit. Sometimes kids don't trust the coach. I think my kids trust me.
Let's go back to the state championship against Needham. Close game, fairly close game comparatively to some of your other games. What's the message pregame? What's the message in the locker room before you take the court?
There wasn't much said. I just pretty much said, you've gotten this far. You know what it takes. Everything has been said. You just got to go out and play your game and do what has gotten you here, and everything will be okay. I was pretty confident going into that game. I thought Newton North was the better team. No disrespect to Needham, because I thought they were a great team. I just thought Newton North was the better team. And, I thought we played okay in the Needham game. I don't think we got up pretty big in the game. There was never a doubt in my mind that we would lose that game. I thought Needham they were better than I thought when we played them. I just thought we were a little bit more talented than they were. And I think we played just well enough to win that game. So pretty exciting. So, like I said, go out and let's play North High boys basketball, and we're going to be fine. And that's what they did.
What's the message, whether immediately after the game or a few days after, as you bring them back?
It took months, because it was the first time it was ever done. So with all the media attention and all the, going to, the mayor giving the key to the city, the Woo Sox throwing out the first pitch, going to the Red Sox, going to the Celtics, going to the State House, all the dinners that, the ring ceremony, like there was just so much. So for me, I was pretty numb after it. So it took a good month for me to actually go back, look at all the videos, what we had actually accomplished. I don't even think the kids really understand what they accomplished, because they're still young. I think they were tired after, You know, after they went to the State House, they was like, Coach, we're done. We're ready to get back in the lab and do what we need to do to repeat again. It took some time for it to register that we had just like made history because of all the attention we were getting. We didn't get really a lot of time to sit back and really enjoy it. Now I have. So I just think it was, I'm actually amazed that we were able to go through the state of Mass and not lose a game. I just tip my hat off to the kids who were able to endure just all of that, just all the practices, me getting on them, just the battles and practices.
As you look back on it now and have some time to reflect, what was the key thing that you remember from the season?
One of our guards, when he got sick, he had a bacteria infection, one of our starters actually at the time, and it got into his bloodstream, and he was hospitalized for 18 days. He actually almost lost his arm, almost lost his life. The doctors told him after he recovered that he's lucky to be alive. So it called it septic shock. So I think when he went down, the kids all like, you know, we had a lot of trauma actually that, you know, last year. And when he went down, I think that really made them come together and play for him. And I think that was huge. So he was down for a good month, and we were all really concerned. And they just kept thinking about him and playing for him. And I think when it's as crazy as it sounds, but when he went down, that was probably the best thing that happened to our team. And then he came back. He came back halfway through. It was the Newton North game. I'll never forget it. He hit 2 big threes in the Newton North game to kind of give us a little cushion to win that game. And it was just a remarkable thing to see, for him to come back and hit those 2 big shots to like get us to that state championship game. So I think when he went down, I think that was the turning point of our season.
And they were playing for something bigger than
they themselves.
Playing bigger.
Yeah.
At
they was
that
just,
point, for
yeah,
sure.
They was just pretty hungry every time they stepped on the floor. They just played for him and thinking about him in the hospital. So that's why they're state champs now.
Recently, you had tragedy within your program. My condolences to you and your program.
That's a really emotional topic for me. You know, he was our only senior, and I talk about Carl's smile, and his smile will just brighten up any room. If you were having a bad day or you had a fight with your girlfriend or mom's getting on you about something, his smile would just make you feel a lot better. And, you know, he was our only senior. He started for me his junior year. His senior year, he really didn't play a lot his senior year because of how talented we were. But he stayed, and he just wanted to be a part of a family. And he stayed the course. And his only dream was like, and he was a good kid, a great student, just wanted to play college basketball. And I'll never forget the call. He called me and says, Coach, I made the team. And he was pretty excited about that. And I was like excited for him. And that put a smile on my face. And I said, you know, send me a schedule. I can't wait. And I couldn't wait to go see him play. And then, you know, unfortunately, you know, at Salem State University, unfortunately that was cut short. And it was I remember when I got the call at like 6:30 in the morning, and I told his teammates, and they had an extremely difficult time with that news. We're getting shooting shirts made up with his face, and they want brotherhood on the back of their shirts with his number. And we're going to dedicate our season to him. If there wasn't anything to motivate them, I think this will. He was just a great kid, and just for his life to be cut short like this is just not fair. And it's not just hit our team, it's hit our entire community. I mean, it's actually going national now. So it's really a big loss because it just doesn't seem real that he's not, you know, here anymore. And he had goals, and he was doing really good in school. And the impact that he had on Salem State University in a short period of time is just a credit to who Carl was. Being the leader of the program, I have to be strong for them. We'll get through it. We'll get stronger. and we'll be better. And, it's just going to be a positive message to, that just violence, senseless violence is not the answer to our problems. There's better ways of dealing with it. So I think for me, I got to turn the negative into a positive because we really need it. So this one was really tough, and it's still tough on our guys, and our community is still suffering from this. We just got to get stronger, and we just got to do better as a community, as a world, with all the senseless violence that's going on. So I just know Carl is going to be looking down on everyone that's there for him, and he's going to smile. Yeah, that's been tough for us. It's not going to be easy, but we're gonna be strong, because that's what he would want us to do. So that's what we're going to do.
Very difficult loss, but Carl meant so much to the program, and was a great influence on the program.
Yeah, he was extremely. They're brothers. That's why they want brotherhoods. They're family. They were extremely close. They saw him a week. They were all together the week that Saturday before it happened. That Wednesday, they were all together. He actually stayed with the kid Ty, the one that was ill. He stayed at his house for the weekend. He stayed with him. And then he went back to school. I think Sunday or Monday he went back to school, and then they get the call. I get the call on Wednesday morning that, he's gone. So it was a tough blow. I'm still struggling with it, but I have to be strong for the program. So, and just got to remind the kids and just checking on the family. He has 2 siblings, brothers. So we just telling his siblings that, he may not be here, but he has 12 other brothers that are going to look after, and you're going to continue the legacy of Carl's.
Where do you draw the strength from personally? Where does your team draw strength to be champions in life, in the classroom, on the court?
I think Carl's a lesson. Life is short, it's precious. You have goals, you never give up, you keep fighting, you keep going. My biggest thing is what was going to motivate us this year. I never questioned the man above, because when you're a state champion, I think sometimes you get content, like, we're state champs, it's just going to happen again. No, it's going to be even harder, a harder schedule. So I just encourage my guys to keep pushing, keep being, good students, strive to be better in the classroom. Just keep pushing, because you can always improve. And strive to be better in the basketball player. And strive to be a better person. Just strive to be better overall. And you can always improve. So I'm always talking about improving. Don't settle. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. It's not going to always go right, but if you keep pushing, you will start to see some success. So I just talk about pushing and constantly trying to be better every day. And that's my message to my guys. So this is a prime example of being better. We have to be better. We have to do better. So, I'm looking forward to the season. I'm actually motivated, even more so, because as a coach, I feel I can do better to, push them to do better. So as a leader, that's my motto, and that's what I'm going to push for my 12 guys to do as well.
When you look at a season, do you foresee or foreshadow where you may be?
I think we have a pretty good shot of doing it again with hard work, but it's going to be hard, and we're going to have to push, and we're going to have to work harder, which is a challenge that I'm looking forward to. I think we're one of the top 4 teams in the state this year as well. We have an extremely tough schedule. I think we're right there with, being in the top 5.
You've been a success in every facet of the program. You've helped your players in life. You've done all the right things. You're really a model for other coaches, and we're so happy to have you on the program, and you've given us some tremendous insights. We wish you the very best moving forward.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome.